Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kyusho here, and now, before we do start, let's give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of events have happened. We had Deku. Deku, him and the Bat family, they were going through quite a lot. They were arguing with Failsafe and trying to get full access to the Bat Computer's network. However, Failsafe, he kept running algorithms and trying to process data, and he came to a conclusion. After much deliberation, he finally handed over the keys to the Batcave and told them to have at it. He gave them all the information Bruce Wayne has gathered. And Deku and Barbara, they went to the secret Batcave, and Deku, he got the insider's suit. Because apparently it's not called the outsider like I thought. Now, the suit can mimic the powers of the Justice League for a limited period of time. And Deku, he does like it. The suit feeds on his metabolism, and that is the only drawback. However, it is a very powerful suit. Now, Bruce Wayne went in front of the world, and he revealed the identities of all the superheroes on Earth. And that is a problem. He even revealed himself to be Batman. However, Deku saw it firsthand. How far Bruce has fallen. How insane the man is now. He's gone too far. And Izuku, it breaks his heart to say, but this is one of his worst nightmares made real. One of the only things left that can scare him. The Batman turning into the Joker. And that is very bad. Especially with the fact that he has the powers of Superman. Now, things have been going weird, rocky for the League. Now that their identities have been revealed, they have nowhere to go. They have no way to really hide. People found out that Clark Kent was Superman, the mild-mannered reporter who lives in fucking Metropolis, was the boy in blue. People found out that the rich boy in Gotham turned out to be the edgy and brooding crusader. So there was that. People found out that the pilot was Hal Jordan. People found out that Diana, she was Wonder Woman. And the whole thing goes on and on and on. People were shocked. People were surprised. And villains started to take their own opportunities. They tried to go after the heroes. And the heroes, they have to defend against this. All while the Batman who laughs sits back and watches. Now, with that being said, a few things are going on now. People are trying to save friends and family. And Deku is trying to do what he can. However, the League, they have a meeting right now at the Hall of Justice. And people are still out deliberating on what to do. Right now there are some members of the League who are starting to talk about killing villains to keep their families safe. There are others who are talking about more permanent methods, such as jailing and making sure that the villains can't go anywhere. And others just want their families safe. They want to hide, run, new identities maybe, something new, something different. And people can't decide what to do. Now, Deku currently does stand there, him in the outsider suit, as he does look around the table. And a few people, they're talking. And right now Aquaman, he does sit there, along with more members of the League, such as Red Tornado and Zatanna. And even some of the less popular ones like, well, not less popular, I'd say the more expansive roster, like the Titans, the Young Justice team, and I want to say just any superhero team in general on the planet. So there's that. Just anyone who you can think of is in the room who's more expansive, like Red Tornado, Dr. Fate, or Vixen. I don't remember if she's a hero or a villain. She has an amulet that gives her the powers of animal spirits, I think. I'm gonna have to look into that, just because I know that that power is magical in origin, I think. Now, right now Deku, he does somewhat stand there. And someone is currently talking. going over quite a lot. And Deku, he does hear about it, as Supergirl does stand there. Right now, her with her eyes closed, listening, and Deku doesn't want to turn his head. She's trying to find his heartbeat, but he doubts it's that easy. And Deku, he doesn't want to go back to paying attention. As, right now, Aquaman does get to open everything up. He knows that he's been out of the loop, but apparently things are bad enough to call him in. So, he wants everyone to understand. Right now what they're dealing with is a very, very strange and abnormal threat. They're dealing with one of their own going bad. And that does mean quite a lot. There are people out there who are going after their families. And he's willing to let some of them stay safe in Atlantis, but they be given limited access to certain places. Especially because Atlantis is underwater. And the fact of the matter is, they can't really put them somewhere safe right now. They would try the watchtower under normal circumstances, but it's down. They'd use their own places, but they're fairly certain the Batman Who Laughs might have uploaded their locations to the internet as well. So you need to be careful about that. Every place they have right now that's in league custody could either be booby-trapped or exposed. So they're being backed into a corner. And the heroes, they're being given limited options. And Deku, he finally does someone going to speak up. Him going to pull off the helmet to the insider suit. And right now Deku does start to speak. He does get to place the helmet down. Him telling everybody in the room that he kind of already knows everything to know about Bruce, and he also knows everything to know about Joker. He can try and tell them all how he thinks. But right now, Failsafe, he's doing a few other things. He's the computer that's trying to help them the most. The one that's giving them a chance. Without the original 7 around, things are bad for all of them. And the world needs the Justice League. What he's posing right now is that they break up into teams. The Batman Who Laughs is expecting them to work together, band together under these circumstances, because that's what heroes do. And people do so much to look at Deku, as he does something to turn around. Him expressing to everybody, as he's gonna float up into the air, and everyone they do so gonna watch. A bit more surprised by that. As Deku, he actually does somewhat fumble around a bit. You can tell that he's new to this power, and he does continue talking. All of them need to understand. The Batman Who Laughs is thinking like Bruce and the Joker at the same time. He wants them to all band together and be strategic. But if they're strategic, he'll use chaos to confuse them. Order will be disrupted by chaos. That's the natural order. So, he wants all of them to break up into teams. Only one person on the team will have comms communications with the other team members, and vice versa. What they'll do is they'll rendezvous when they need to. They'll all gather together when they need to. Right now, they'll work together and separate to throw him off. And that does mean quite a lot. They all need to understand. Fill in or check in every 24 hours, make sure people are okay or are alive, and always have a backup person in charge, in case someone dies. That person should assign someone else a role, and vice versa, and so on for every team member. Right now, they need to actually unify, however, divide and conquer. And some people do understand. And Deku does try to make a few things clear. To anyone else listening to them, he understands. To anyone else going through things, he understands. He's dealt with the Joker for years, so he'll take point on all of this. Right now, though, he's in charge of Team A, and he wants all of them to start forming up on different teams. What they're going to do is simple. They're going to take down Batman. But if they do need to use force, they'll use force. Don't hold back against him. If he thinks like the Joker, he's already thought about murdering you. Multiple times. And he wants them all to understand. He'll use any trick against you. So, if you get a distress call that a loved one is in danger, Use your own judgment call for that. He's had that trick used on him before. That's how he fell into the Joker's grasp. A lot of people are going to listen. And Deku actually is going to float back down. Him turn to Aquaman. Ask him if he has any questions. Your logic is sound. Though, we don't really know his next target, do we? You're just as strong as Superman, aren't you? You think he'll go after me? Not you. Not personally. I think he's going to go after Atlantis next. You do realize I've left my kingdom unprotected. I do. Yes. However, if he wanted to poison the water, he would have already. Your people would already be dead. Deku continued to tell Aquaman. His people would already be dead, and he would be hydrophobic already. Fact is, he's seen the plans and he's seen everything. Bruce, he was easy on him, but at the same time, he was harsh. Aquaman only has one real weakness, and that just happens to be dry land. So, he would be left hydrophobic and unable to enter the ocean, unable to enter any form of water. However, getting him to be able to drink it was tough, challenging. He doesn't know how that works. Maybe he'd still be afraid of fucking tea, but it's not water, right? He doesn't know. Any liquids in general he'd be afraid of. So eventually it was theorized that he might just die. Comforting. Hey, I was trying to help. You're not helping. I got that. I'm looking around. And right now Deku doesn't want to turn to Supergirl. Hey, I'm going to ask her if she's been hearing anything yet. No, I haven't. I'm keeping an ear out for Clark. Kara, they found him in the rubble of the watchtower. They... What? He's dead, Kara. He was shot in the head. No. You're lying to me. They never told you? They never told me anything. Her gonna spin, yelling about who found him. And Deku, he does try to calm her down. Him trying to tell her, right now this is what he wants. Her spinning back. And right now she actually trying to throw out her hand towards Deku. However, Deku, he does it to activate the flash mode. Him going to step backwards and away fast. Right now Kara going to swing her hand out and try to grab Deku. But Deku, he dodged. Him right now appearing the next second about 3 steps away. And telling Kara. Right now, he wants her to be angry. He wants her to make mistakes. Is that what she wants? For him to win? And she doesn't want to glare at Deku. Her trying to calm herself down. However, you can see the anger on her face. And Deku, he does try to tell her. Right now, she is a Team A. And he wants at least somebody with magical powers on this team. Him looking around. And right now, he does a turn to see Zatanna and Dr. Fate. Him looking at both of the two. Him trying to ask if anyone here can fill the role. He's just going to look around again. And this time someone they do come to walk up. Her at least expressing about how she can help right here. And it would probably be better for Dr. Fate and Aquaman to be paired together on the same team. And Deku just won't agree. Him turning and trying to ask anyone else if they have any better ideas. And there actually is where people start to break off. Tim and Nightwing are on this team. And Nightwing, he wanted to bring Corey along too. And Deku, he was getting a bit annoyed. The team started to fill up. And people started to break off into their own pairs. And Deku, he definitely had a few things going through his mind. Specifically about how to find Bruce. And where he'd be hiding. What he'd even be doing right now. I mean, Kara is one of their best bets to find him. She can scan the entire world with her hearing. And if she knows his heartbeat, then she'll find him. She definitely will find him. It's just a matter of time, effort, and waiting. But that sounds like the hardest part. I mean, what do they do when they find him? What do they say? And that right now is on Deku's mind. Him going to sit there in the sky. It's definitely a strange feeling. Being up here and looking down. He always thought about what Superman saw every day. And now he's seeing it. It's so peaceful up here. It's nice, it's pretty. The blue marble. It's just insane. And Deku just think, every single day, this is how he saw the world. This is how Superman saw the world. It's crazy. And there actually is Deku. He does sit there, floating high, high above the world. But so does somebody else. And Deku, he's unaware that the person behind him is going to descend down, back into the hearable atmosphere. And someone right now, they were on guard. They were trying to help the Kents mourn. They were mourning with the Kents. And Kara? Kara, she does get to hear a sound. Thunk, thunk, thunk. And her blood runs cold. As she doesn't want to sit up straighter in her chair. Her with a look of anger on her face. And a bit more of fear. He took down Cal. And that means he has a way to take her down. And then there actually is back with Deku. Deku does float there. As he finally hear a voice. Hello, Izuku. Him turning around. And we're not going to see Bruce. Him floating there. Without the blue kryptonite. And he does sit there in the bat suit. The all-black suit. And Deku, he does look at Bruce Wayne. His face pale. And his hair, it's turning green. And Deku just stared at him. Him with a look of anger. And Bruce, he does see it under that mask, using his X-ray vision. You know, Izuku, you were right. I never understood anything I did. You're insane. You're turning into him. I'm not turning into him, Izuku. I am him. I'm the Joker. Now, son, won't you join me? I mean, fulfill his promise and be my Robin. Though, I gotta say, looking down on it, it's definitely interesting, right? It is. But what's going through your head? My head? Oh, nothing much. My mind feels quite clear, in fact. So, what about you? Deku hearing a voice in his head. As right now Miss Martian, she has her to ask if he's encountered the Joker or Batman. And Deku, he does get a response. He's right in front of him. Car is on the way. You have to be careful. We don't know what it's capable of. I know exactly what he can do. Okay, just give her a second. And Bruce, what is it? What happened to you? Okay, I need you to shut down his brain. What? Shut down his brain. Trust me. If you can get inside of his head, that will help us immensely. I just need to keep him talking. Bruce, come on. Explain to me what happened. How this started. You're supposed to be Batman. But I never would expect you to go clown. Yeah. I can see that. Though, I should be thanking you. I didn't really mean to kill the clown, But this does feel a lot better. Does it? The two both staying there, or floating in the air. And right now Deku, he stares at a Superman. One he never thought he would encounter. He stares at an evil, twisted Batman. And he's waiting. But nothing happens. And Bruce is starting to float forwards. And Deku, he does feel somewhat scared. Him going to get ready. About to change his suit into another mode. To fight off this Batman. And right now Bruce, he does try to make things quite clear. But so does Deku. The moment Deku does have Bruce float in front of him, Bruce does continue on, expressing about what he's done. He's taken down the entirety of the League. He's taken down all the major threats. I mean, to him. But Izuku does still have to deal with quite a bit of things. The fallout, the repercussion for his actions. People are after him. And right now Bruce does somewhat float there. Deku staring at him. As Batman does go to express. I'm going to lean forwards. There's a lot he has to answer for. And he is going to watch it. He wants Izuku to understand. This is his gift. He gave him a better understanding of the clown. And he gets it. Trust him. He knows it. It doesn't fucking matter anymore. Nothing about this matters. And Deku, he does get a turn. Him pressing the button, as the moment he does to activate the flash mode, he does to fall. He feels himself falling in slow motion. And Deku, he moves his hand down to his build as fast as possible. Him gonna throw his hand out to try and stab Bruce in the face with kryptonite. However, Bruce, he does it to grab onto Deku's arm. Him catching it, as right now Bruce, he does actually grab the piece out of the air. Him going to feel the effects of kryptonite, as the two do so wants to float down. And Bruce is gonna let it go. Him gonna watch it fall, as right now he does gonna start breathing back normally. Him gonna talk about it. You know, he never really liked that stuff. The green color, he always hated it. Funny. I would have thought you were a fan. Deku's smashing his head out forwards, directly into the Batman. And right now Deku is gonna crack the helmet across his head, as Bruce is gonna let go of him. And Deku is falling. Right now he has a lot of things going through his mind. And Deku, he definitely is worried. As cars go flying in. And Deku, he does turn back into flight mode. Him gonna zoom back up as Kara does go to attack Bruce. And Deku, he is gonna fly in. However, Bruce is gonna bring out his hand and batter him away. Deku being sent flying with a single blow. And right now the suit, it is damaged. And Deku, he is falling from the sky. He never realized how strong Superman was. How powerful the Boy Scout was. And right now Deku, his suit is off. His comms are on. And he is falling from the atmosphere. Practically from space. A fall he very well may not survive. And he's watching his father. He's watching his father become the man he never wished he would be. As Deku, he fades from consciousness. And right now he's falling from the sky. Barely anyone knows he's alive. And Kara screams out about that on her communications. But Miss Martian is dealing with the aftermath of trying to get into Bruce Wayne's head. The storm. The words flying through his brain. Everything about his mind is bad. Messed up. Nothing about it makes sense. He's insane. He's not right, and she can't get in there. She can't shut him down. Now, we do actually have Barbara. Barbara, she was trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And Failsafe, he tried to track Deku's suit. However, the moment he took a strike from Bruce, his transmitter was destroyed. And that means he can only have the comms channel or the comms communicator, to track with. Now, Failsafe tried to give an estimate as to where Deku might land, where he might be, and that was a problem. Deku is falling from the atmosphere, and he re-enters orbit. And Deku, he doesn't have a lot to keep him alive. He falls from the sky, burning up into the atmosphere as a comet is going to strike down. And right now, Deku, he does lay there in a crater. The suit took the impact, but the man inside, he felt it. And whenever Barbara found him, the bat plane landing and her going to run over, Deku was there. She ran over and found him. However, whenever she tried to pull off the helmet, she saw his face, covered in blood, covered in burns, and she tried checking his pulse. But there was nothing. Izuku? There was nothing. And Barbara stared on, her grabbing down at the suit and trying to pull it off, her trying to do what she can. However, there actually was Tim. Tim stood there, and he watched. Barbara, she tried to fix his injuries, do something, but there was just more damage, and his heart wasn't beating. Barbara just sat there, trying to do chest compressions and trying to get him to wake up, breathe, do something, show he's alive, move a goddamn hand. But nothing happened. And Barbara just sat there, her cradling Izuku in her arms. He died. He's dead. That on her mind. And Barbara started to cry. She had tears in her eyes. Before, there was a sonic boom above. And the Batman, he comes smashing down in front of his old family. Him to stand up and look. Him with a massive smile on his face. Before he does start to laugh. And right now he does a look over towards Tim, Dick, Harper, and Duke. And he does then go to look down towards Barbara. Him going to listen in. He only hears the 5. Honestly, the boy should have known. I'm going to step forwards, and right now Dick is going to rush forwards. Him going to do so, as he does have an idea. Anything to do. He could probably try and take him down. Get in close, and then press the button on his batons. Reveal the kryptonite. Reveal his weapons are laced. And then attack. Do what he can. However, Bruce has turned his head. Him blasting Nightwing with heat vision. And Nightwing had his arm taken off. Him falling to the ground screaming out at the cauterized wound. Him clutching where his arm used to be. For Bruce, he doesn't go to vanish. Him gonna pop back up as he's gonna hold Duke up in the air. Him going to look up at him, for we're gonna bring him down to eye level. Him going to whisper something to Duke before he doesn't gonna snap his neck. I'm gonna drop. And Harper saw that. Her gonna turn and try to run. And right now, there was where Bruce, he looked over at her. Him going to blow out Frostbath directly towards her. However, Tim, he brought his hands out towards his utility belt. He threw out smoke, and he then let it activate. And the lead smoke, it began to go throughout the air. And Bruce should have looked through it. He knew what Tim was doing. He knows what he's trying to do. Buy time and get back to the Batplane. But if he's correct, the Batplane's over there. Him blasting out heat vision, and cutting it in two. And Kara has come to fly down, hurling at the massive, massive cloud of smoke. And right now, Barbara just sit there, her with a gas mask up to her mouth, and still clutching onto Izuku, as Tim does come to run over. Him dragging Nightwing, trying to tell her about what they need to do. And he does then go to lay down Dick. Him going to tell Barbara that she needs to stay here and just do something. He'll deal with this. I'm going to turn back, and coming eye to eye with Bruce. Bruce bringing his hands up, smashing his fists together, as right now he does going to smash Tim Drake's head in. And Tim just goes one step backwards. His body going to fall limp. as Barbara's gonna turn and stare directly up at Bruce Wayne, him covered in blood with a smile, and the brain falling from his hands. As Barbara does gonna stare at him, and Bruce, he does gonna turn his head and hear a voice. Harper rushing forwards with a baton in her hand and exposing the kryptonite. Her gonna swing at him as Bruce is gonna bring his hand up, grabbing onto it, and they're gonna have the kryptonite poisoning appear on his arm, on his hand. And Barbara watches on. He's weak to kryptonite. The smoke beginning to dissipate. And the moment it does, there actually is where Bruce is gonna throw out his hand. Him smashing it through Harper's chest and grabbing onto her heart. Him gonna pull it out. As she actually is gonna collapse. Her trying to catch her breath. And Bruce just is gonna drop it. Him gonna turn at Barbara. His eyes glowing red. As Supergirl is gonna rush forwards. Her seeing Batman, and Batman is gonna turn. Him gonna try and punch her as Carter's gonna dodge out of the way. Her grabbing onto Bruce and flying him up in the air. She has an idea of what to do. They need something else to face him. They need to trap him in the Phantom Zone. Get him there. Put him in there. Do something right now. She has an idea, but it sounds bad. It sounds really, really bad. I mean, they could try to get him put in the Phantom Zone or call for Zod. But Zod would not help them. Zod wants to conquer Earth. Bruce wants to destroy it, though. So there could be a common ground for them to work on. Then on Kara's mind, as right now Barbara does sit there, surrounded by the dead family members, and she doesn't go to look down towards Dick. It might just be her and him. And Izuku. He's dead. That ran on her mind. As a plane is come flying up, it's going to land down, as right now a few people do go to step out. And the people, they are Rose Wilson, Natalia Al Ghul, along with Ra's al Ghul, the League of Assassins. And Ra's al Ghul is going to look around. He sees Deku laying there dead. He sees Nightwing on the ground. And he stares up to see Barbara. He does even go to see Tim, laying there without his head. Him going to turn and give orders to the League about exactly what they are going to do. They need to take the bodies and go, now. Supergirl is taking care of their threat, their detective. And right now, there actually is a Rose just going to walk over. Her going to bend down and going to try and grab onto Izuku. But Barbara is going to scream out at her, yelling at Rose. And Rose is going to bring her hand out. Her smashing something down onto Barbara's shoulder and injecting her with it. And Barbara does so going to look over towards her. Her looking to see Talia, as General Rose is going to pull out the needle. Her going to push Barbara over, as Barbara is going to fall over paralyzed. Her right now unable to move. As Rose is then going to drop the needle. Her going to bend down again and actually pick up Deku. Her going to do so and finding that Deku, he might have broken a lot of things in his back. I mean, the suit's all torn up. And it shows what happened. We're going to turn and walk him to the plane. And the League, they gather everybody. But right now let's cut to Deku. The last things he felt. He felt the familiarity. He felt the all-familiar grasp. He knows what happened. He fell from the sky. He died again. He found peace again. And Deku? Deku was alarmed. The flames kissing at him, the lack of oxygen. He could feel fear again. Afraid? But then there was his life. He got a second chance, and he was a murderer. He was deranged, insane. He didn't know what to do. And then he felt his blood boiling. He felt it affecting his brain. He just felt an immense amount of heat, and then and then he passed out. Then he felt the comfort embrace, but then he felt like he was drowning again. He felt overwhelmed. His skin. He felt the pain again. He felt everything. And then Deku, he jumps out of the Lazarus pit. Him yelling and screaming as right now someone, they bring up their hand. And they're going to cast a spell. Deku being locked in place as he's screaming out angrily. And he is restrained. Now, with that being said, Deku, he is left there for a few days. Him locked up in a cell, suffering from Lazarus madness again. And Deku, when he finally does get to come to, he's trying to remember what happened. Why he's in a straitjacket, why he's in a cell, why he doesn't remember where he landed. And Deku, he's quite alarmed, especially whenever someone walks into the room and tries to tell him about what happened. They try to tell him what exactly occurred that day. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.